Welcome to Festpod, the unofficial download festival guide. I'm Neil Wilkinson. This is the place for news and rumours about the festival, advice for going, and your chance to get involved and ask your questions too. So now let's welcome my fellow hosts. First of all, we've got Lee Ellingham.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well, are you?
Are you coping with lockdown?
Yeah, well, it's not. It's like the lockdown last March. It hasn't really affected me much because I'm still going to work. So.
Oh, are you? Are you a key worker?
Yeah. Well, my work is considered essential, but I don't think it is. But that's just my opinion.
That's your excuse.
Yeah.
And we've got Dave Kingdon, who's also in lockdown. How are you doing?
I'm well. Just trying to stay sane.
Because are you on furlough or are you just off work?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in and out of furlough every time lockdowns happen, so it's been a bit. Yeah,
you can survive at least.
Yeah,
it's just finding something to do, isn't it? To take away do you help on the farm? Do you or not?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
you milk the cows.
Yeah.
Get in touch with us on the socials by looking for Festpod. Say hi, ask our advice about download, or just chime in with whatever you want. So now it's the first news of 2021. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year to you too.
To you too. We have obviously got the news of the third lockdown 3, the return, the vaccine. I'm trying to compare it to a sort of Star Wars title. The Revenge of the Vaccine.
Or no, because that plays on Revenge of the Sith, and the Sith is a bad thing. So this is again, the vaccine is a good thing. So maybe return of the vaccine, or a new hope, a new vaccine.
So so we've got 2 vaccines on the go, with a third possibly on the way. But I was interested to see this story on Sky News, the headline of which says summer festivals could go ahead, but only if government offers support. Music industry officials say that there's an endpoint in sight and are urging government to back cancellation insurance policies. Because, of course, if they go ahead and it ends up being cancelled at the last minute, then they're in the shit. Pretty much.
Yeah. I think it's necessary. I mean, if you read the story all the way through, the festival industry in the UK alone generates £4.7 billion into the economy.
That's a huge amount.
It is, and I mean, is that something they like? Again, the economy wants to risk losing. Obviously, there's a lot to be lost through these lockdowns, and obviously everything all last year. And I mean, this being a massive chunk of it. Again, would you really want to lose that again?
The events such as concerts and festivals would be safe to go ahead this summer, but depend on government action to boost industry confidence. So it looks like they want to put stuff on, but they're holding back just in case they can't, or just in case they have to stop at the last minute. That's for a lobby group has claimed that. That's UK Music, which I've never heard of actually, but the chief executive insists that there is an end point in sight, which is true. You know, I mean, if you look on all of the social media and the forums for Download Festival, everyone's so negative about it, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I understand the pessimism because obviously last year was such a downer, but I mean, I'm really optimistic and positive about it. With again the vaccine, the 2 that we have, like you said, one new one is on the way. We're in lockdown now, so it's earlier than it was last year. They've opened up so many facilities to roll the vaccine out, including football stadiums and the like big facilities. So, yeah, I mean, I'm positive it's going to go ahead, just purely based on that alone.
What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic, shall we say?
Cautiously optimistic. That's like sitting on the fence, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
That's the definition of sitting on the fence.
I've heard so many different dates of when lockdown's going to end, but it sounds like they're going to slowly open up the tiers again until everyone's vaccinated. So, like, who knows when lockdown is going to end? But worst case scenario, even if it does end at the end of March, that's still plenty of time to get everything ready, I hope.
I mean, the awful thing is that there's a lot of smaller festivals which are at risk of disappearing if there's no government-backed insurance policy to give them some confidence that they can actually go ahead again. Because 2 years on the bounce for a small festival, that's significant, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I go to Bloodstock in August, or I missed it in 2019. I really regret that, but been a few years before that, and that being again a festival for up to 20,000 people in comparison to 100,000 people at Download. Yeah, I mean, if they don't get any sort of backing, then unfortunately, that sort of festival would be gone. The same could be said for the likes of 2000 Trees, Arcten Gen, Techfest, those sort of smaller festivals that put on the quote unquote smaller unknown bands. Again, it would make a massive hole in the industry.
And the last thing we want is a massive hole. Next, we have Blink-182 have a new album on the way, don't they? Is that coming this year?
Well, this year being 2021, yeah. It's always good to be able to say, oh, it's coming this year. And obviously, yes. I literally went past it and I thought, oh, that's interesting, because we have a massive gap on the third stage on the Friday for the headline slot. And I thought, with Kiss being on the main stage and the same sort of 80s thrash metal on the second stage, why not put in a bit of 90s pop punk, or 90s, noughties, whatever you want to call it, pop punk? I thought they'd be a great fit.
Yeah, I really hope that this means that they're looking for stages to perform on, and I really hope they're coming to Download. I would love that. I would definitely be there.
Yeah, I've seen the original lineup with them. I saw them at Eden Project, actually.
Did you?
Down in Cornwall, yeah. When I was living there briefly.
That must have been a long time ago.
2000 and I want to say 13.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yes, that's 7 years. Christ, yeah, 7 years ago. And yeah,
7 years, or is it 8 years? How are we doing at maths?
7.5.
As a compromise, okay, fine.
Yeah. They were really good, obviously, but the lineup isn't with Tom DeLonge anymore, is it? It's got, I can't remember his name now, but it's got the lead singer from Alkaline Trio as the second vocalist.
I can't wait to hear this new album.
I'm interested. The last album they did didn't get a raving reaction, but it's Blink-182. You know all the classics.
What number album is this, do you think? How many have we got now?
Oh, Christ. No, that's a question.
Because they've been around a while, haven't they?
They have. They were very early 90s, if I remember correctly. I don't know off the top of my head. I want to say 7, 8, but I'm not 100% sure. 10?
Their last album was called 9. So it was called 9, but apparently, according to Wikipedia, it was their 8th album.
Oh, they're just messing with us, aren't they?
Yeah, sounds like it.
They might, 9 is the 8th studio album by American rock band.
Are you a fan, Dave?
I like the self-titled one, yeah, and a few other songs here and there. I've not listened to them in great detail, but I do remember the Eden Project gig because a few of my friends went and they said it was really good.
Did you go?
So I didn't go. No, I didn't, but a few friends did. But yeah, I'd definitely be up for checking them out if they were announced. Also, 12 Foot Ninja have announced a new album for this year, 2021.
Oh, that is good news. Mostly because of that very short set they did in 2019. They definitely do deserve an extra, another go at it. So we can see a decent full.
You
set
two were
theirs.
gutted about that, weren't you?
Oh, big time.
Yeah, but the sort of 10, 15 minutes they played were awesome. But hopefully there's, obviously it's not been announced, but they are definitely a download band, so there's no reason why they couldn't come this year.
There is loads of space on the lineup still for them. I mean, even if you wouldn't put them on the fourth stage now, because by the looks of it, that's full. But you've still got plenty of space on main stage, I believe main stage on the Friday. There's a couple of spaces even on the Avalanche stage on the Friday as well. Oh, blimey, the second stage on the Saturday has literally got 6 bands on it. 7 bands. So, I mean, there's loads of space for them to slip in.
Maybe they can do 2 sets because they can only do half a set last time.
I reckon they should. They owe us an extra set. Maybe they could go into acoustic or something in the Danish Quarter if that comes back. Yes,
that'd be awesome.
It would.
Did you go in the Danish Quarter, Dave?
No, well, I went in for a drink, yeah, but I missed the acoustics stuff. But right. I think it wasn't like official stuff because they also had the Zippo stage where you could get a ticket to like a performance in a tent hidden away somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, I think if you bought a Zippo lighter, they gave you a ticket or something to a like secret stage, and then you didn't know who was playing.
You get the Zippo lighters, don't you?
No, I got one a couple of years ago. Just for the fun of it.
It makes me wish that I smoked because I've got no reason to buy a lighter.
Yeah, I can't really justify spending all that money on lighters.
I tell you what, start using incense. As much incense as you can possibly get, then you've got an excuse to get that lighter.
Or candles. If you're into candles, you can use a Zippo lighter. Fabulous. So next we've got some lineup changes, haven't we?
Okay, so I mean, I was just flicking around on the internet as you do, and I had a look at the 2021 lineup poster. That's all the same as it was when they last did an announcement. Nothing's changed on that. But if you click onto stages, and then you click onto main stage, and you scroll down, there's a few differences between the poster and actually what's on this section. Now, this could just me speculating and clutching at straws. Obviously, mistakes can happen on obviously making websites and that. But Deftones have been moved onto the Friday, and Killswitch Engage have been bumped up from the second stage headliner onto the main stage. So says the website. Whether that is officially correct and will be that way come June, who knows? I thought it was really interesting, and I'm wondering now whether, if that is true, and Killswitch Engage have moved up to the main stage, who could headline the second stage on the Saturday?
Has anyone pulled out?
Yeah, sorry, I had to laugh at that. As far as I can see, I don't think so. I mean, I'm having a brief scan now. Obviously, I don't know all the artists off by heart just by looking at posted.
Don't tell me that you don't memorize this every night before you go to sleep.
There are normally a few like stage changes before the day tickets are released, though, aren't there?
Day tickets are released.
Have they? Oh, I was shocked.
Day tickets released about a month or two ago. When they announced the most of the lineup, they released day tickets. But no, you are right.
They came out early this year, didn't they, or last year?
Yeah, I mean, because of obviously the whole COVID-19 thing, they've literally just shoved everything into one massive announcement before the year finished. And I think apart from the potential 10 to 15 slots that are available, there's only sort of like the on-site stuff that they're going to announce next. Again, whether it be any more changes from the YouTube video they put out, or again food vendors or anything like that. Well, again, I imagine that sort of stuff will get announced once they can 100% confirm it's all going ahead.
And as far as we all know, and according to Download, it is going ahead. Until anything changes, until any other announcements are made, as far as we know, it is going ahead.
The last email was very specific and said it is going ahead, so I'm taking that as gospel until they say differently.
Exactly. Yeah, you've got to work with your facts and not your speculation and worrying. So if Download says it's going to go ahead, I believe them.
Exactly.
So that is the first instalment of news for 2021 here on Festpod. Next, we'll get some advice about going to Download in the guide. In this section, we'll try and answer your questions about what it's like to go to Download Festival, things that we recommend, and things to avoid. This week, festival food.
Love food.
A week at Download means you'll need to either take food with you or buy it from the stalls in the village, and the same goes for alcohol. So we've had some thoughts about what you might expect. So how much food do you bring with you when you arrive on day one?
So the last few years, I've been lucky enough to have a fiance who loves to bake and loves to cook. So she always sends me on my way with tons of obviously pre-cooked sausage rolls, Cornish pasties, calzones that are in a cooler bag for the whole week. And I basically, in the mornings especially, I take those for energy throughout the day.
And how long are those expected to last for?
So the cool bag that I've got, it boasts that it can hold its temperature for a good few days. That's why I bought it.
That's good.
So what I do when I used to get public transport up, it definitely helps. It would be frozen and it would defrost until the day that I needed to eat it. So when we go up on the Tuesday, by the Thursday morning, it's all defrosted. It's all fresh. It's all ready to eat.
Wow. So that'll last you a few days.
It does. I think I've had a couple of occasions where I'm offering food out to you guys, if you're camping with us. So yeah, it lasts. Definitely lasts. It's definitely worth investing in a cool bag of some description. Again, it'll keep your food fresh. If you take frozen food, it will slowly defrost the food for you. Again, you haven't got to fill it up with ice packs. And as well, most important, keeps your beer cold.
But it's another thing to bring along with you, another heavy thing
to
bring along.
If I can manage to lift all my shit from the south of the country to the Midlands via trains, fucking taxis and buses, anyone can do it.
What about you, Dave? Do you bring much food with you on day one?
Yeah, I try and just bring stuff that's going to last, like crisps and biscuits and stuff, just for when you need that little boost of energy. But I generally try and just budget so I can eat some meals provided at the festival itself. So
you like to go and buy stuff from the actual stalls that are there?
Yeah, I try not to do it like all the time, because obviously it's probably not good to be having burgers every day of the week. But yeah, you're at a festival or whatever. It's
but they smell so good, don't they? Those
yeah,
burger vans.
They have, yeah, but they have a great variety as well. Like, one thing I definitely want to talk about is the breakfast tent.
That breakfast tent it's amazing.
There is a breakfast tent. There's also it's like a smoothie bar, which I don't think they're the same thing. I think they're on like opposite ends of the village.
Yes. Okay. So I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm on about the smoothie bar, but they also do like
you can get like hash browns there and sausages and stuff.
The breakfast
But they
wraps and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they also do like fresh, fruit smoothies and stuff. And
because sometimes when you wake up in the morning and you might have brought stuff with you for your breakfast, you don't always fancy what you've brought, do you? So you just want to go and get a fry up.
Yeah, but like they definitely try and cater to everyone in that sense. Like you're not just restricted to having beans on toast or whatever it is. You can actually have something like fresh and healthy.
Oh yeah, that's it. You've got the choice, haven't you? You don't have to have a fry up if you want something from a tent or a stall. You've got the option of having something that's a bit more healthy if that's what you prefer.
Yeah, I generally try and eat something nice or healthy in the morning, and then when we're actually at the arena, just gorge on a kangaroo burger or something. Ostrich. Sorry, it's an ostrich burger.
Something Australian, anyway.
Yeah.
So a lot of people bring dry food with them that will hopefully last the week. When I come, I usually bring, like you say, biscuits, crisps, whatever I can fit in, stuff that tends to be quite light. But I do find that I've got a lot of stuff left over by the end of the week because I just, for convenience sake, I'll just go to the stalls and get something from, something hot that's just been cooked. And to be honest, it is a bit of there's a varying quality of hot food. When I say there's choice, you can get stuff that is healthy, stuff that's not so healthy, stuff that is well made and nice, and stuff that's been done in 30 seconds. But you've got your choice. You takes your choice. You takes your risk. And it's if you find one that you don't quite like so much, there's plenty of others that you can try and they'll be either nicer or not quite so nice. But you've certainly got choice, haven't you? Now, if you bring stuff to cook, because some people do cooking at Download at the campsite, there are lots of rules in place in terms of what you can use to do that cooking. Like
yes, so I think in general camping, there's no gas cooking or anything like that. They always recommend to bring the disposable barbecues. Good as they are, not great for the environment. Obviously, people don't recycle them properly. But having said that, they are very good for, like you say, when you want to cook a couple of burgers at your campsite. Brilliant.
I mean, the only thing about that is that it's going to be June, and if you've bought fresh meat, cold meat with you, it's not going to last very long.
Hence the callback.
Even then, I would be hesitant. I mean, there is a co-op in the village, isn't there? I mean, do they sell burgers and sausages and stuff like that?
That co-op sells absolutely everything you can think of, like food-wise at a festival. Even your toiletries, it's there. There's the best decision they made. Festival Republic and Co-op making that partnership, because it's not just Download that they're at Reading and Leeds as well, and having the Co-op sort of bargains as well, like again you mix and match or you buy one get one free, it's all there. One big thing that I know people are really, really keen on is the meal deal. Your sandwich, drink, crisps or snack or something for about $4.50. Now again, in your normal Co-op it is a bit cheaper, but again, festival tax, it's going to go up, but it's not as expensive as going to going to one of the other stalls, which again can rack up by the end of the week.
How much are we talking for a burger, let's say?
So I mean, on average, the meals that I see, again, burgers and stuff like that, you're looking between £7 to £10, which, I mean, for a burger, I mean, if you're having them 3 times a day for the whole festival, it will rack up. So
I would rather fill that space in my stomach with cider, which you can do instead of breakfast. You can even order cold cans from a tent in the village. You can pre-order those cold cans. You don't even have to prepay. You pay when you, or do you? Is that right? You pay when you get the cans.
I think you pay when you get them.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm definitely, if they announce that for this year's festival, something I'm definitely going to do. Because obviously with me and you, Neil, being in RIP and Dave being in general camping, I'm definitely going to buy a crate to take to Dave's camp.
Oh yeah.
And obviously we can all sit around and have a drink with whatever lovely friends that want to come and say hello to Dave if he makes new friends.
Yes, of course. You're not going to camp with us, are you, this time?
I'll take cans though.
Just so you get pissed on your own. But yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, you've got cider and you've got lager, I think, haven't you?
Yeah, so your choices are, you've got it's all Carlsberg. Obviously they're one of the big sponsors of the festival. So you've got Somersby apple cider, and then you've got your Carlsberg, your standard Carlsberg Pilsner, and your Carlsberg Export, which I believe is in smaller cans.
Oh, right.
So depending on your taste, you go for either the smaller cans of Export or the bigger cans, the normal Carlsberg.
Your beer cans. And to pre-order those cold cans, I think there's a separate website, isn't there, that you can go to and tell them which festival you're going to and all of that. I can't forget now which particular website it is. It's something like Carlsberg.
Well, I think obviously Download will once they've posted that they're definitely going to be there, they'll have a link ready for you to go on to. I think you're right. It's like Carlsberg's like festival something or other.
Yeah.
Like you say, you click on a drop screen of whatever festival you go into, and then you click on what cans you want, and you pay when you want to pick them up.
Because if you are travelling on public transport, let's say, and you don't want to be carrying 48 cans with you, as well as all your camping gear and all your food and your clothes and everything else, it's so much more convenient to get them from the village and just walk, from your tent and back again.
From experience of having to do that, again, on taking your slab of cans and all your food and all your camping equipment on a train from one end of the country to the other, I can't recommend it more. That do the pre-order of the cold cans. Buy your food when you're there, or if you want to take your own food there, which will be obviously cheaper for you in the long run. I can't recommend pot noodles anymore. You can ask for hot water at one of the stalls, and they'll fill your pot noodle up for you. Is
that a thing? Will everybody do that?
Yeah, I think. I mean, some places they'll charge you like 50p or £1 for the hot water, but it's better than spending an arm and a leg on a breakfast meal that, again, you feel as if you're obliged to buy. You take your own food, and if you want some hot water, they will give you hot water.
I mean, when you let's say you want to live off your own food, let's say you've got some special dietary requirements and you want to prepare your own food. I mean, that's for basically a week. That's going to take up quite a bit of space, isn't it, in your luggage?
More than likely. Again, it all depends on, obviously. I mean, if I was doing the general campaign, obviously my dietary requirements have changed in the last year or so.
You're going to have your very first vegan download, aren't you?
I am indeed. I'm looking forward to it. I've been told apparently it's actually they do cater quite well for it. Like I was saying, if I was going to do general camping, luckily I've got my own chef on call that can obviously bake me goods and I'll take up with me. But it would still take up a lot of room in my luggage and my baggage to take from, say, car to camp.
But you do have there is the option, if you don't want to take any food with you, you can survive as a vegan or whatever else. I think. They've in the last few years since obviously the whole veganism has become a bigger thing. Everyone with again dietary requirements are being taken a bit more seriously in the last 10 years. They have a huge variety of food that will cater for absolutely anything that any either ailment or any sort of requirement that you need. I mean, they do. I mean, just from off the top of my head, they've got. Obviously, you've got your ordinary festival food like burgers and chips, your sort of festival staple. Then you've got your different kind of meat that goes in those burgers, whether it's vegan or whether it is ostrich. Did they have ostrich burgers? Is that what we said before?
Yeah,
Ostrich.
that's a thing.
I can't remember the name of the store now, but I think it's just called Ostrich Burgers, actually.
Is that the one that comes with the Jack Daniels the Jack Daniels sauce?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
they're really good.
I've had that before. Wouldn't eat it now, of course, but I've had that before, and it is. I would recommend it to any meat lovers.
Because you're gonna have a few drinks at this, aren't you, Lee? And you might find yourself really hungry, and the vegan place is a long way away, but right next to you is a lovely stall that has the smell of a beef burger. And are you seriously? You're not even tempted?
No. I get this. I got this question asked to me actually a couple of weeks ago, and to be honest, no. I'm quite good with preparing the food that I'm taking with me. If I'm not going to go back to the campsite all too often, I will try and plan ahead where the vegan stuff is. If it's close to me, then I'll go and get it. If not, I'll go and get a beer. That's vegan. I'll be fine.
So you've also got noodles. Noodles are very popular at Download, aren't they?
Oh, everyone loves the Chinese, though. I think that's probably why everyone loves the Chinese. So I mean, there is a lot of Chinese noodle places at Download. I have to admit.
What do you go looking for, Dave, when you are peckish?
I actually really like the noodle place. It's sweet chili noodles.
Oh my god, yes, that's the thing. There's a lot of choice when it comes to even just noodles. Then you've also got, apart from your burgers, chips, noodles, you've got like potatoes. Could have a tater with various fillings.
Oh yeah, I remember. I know what you mean. They'll do like a roast potato portion, and it's like covered in all. Again, you get it gravy or fucking all sorts. There's a place called Hippie Chippy as well. Again, they do garlic and rosemary chips, sweet chili chips, barbecue chips. It's not just chips like smothered in sauce. These are literally, they've been like pre-coated in sort of in sort of like flavorings and stuff, and then fried. If you see it, do that.
There's also a stall that does a great. I can't name any of these particular stalls, but I can tell you what they serve. A massive Yorkshire pudding with like a Sunday dinner in it. That is also intense.
Well, it was going to be mine and Lee's favourite store, the Bunny Chow store. But
which does have a vegan option, so I'm happy there.
Does it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Remind us what that is.
It's basically, to put it simply, it's a stew in a loaf of bread, a hollowed out loaf of bread, basically. Wow. But yeah, it's a South African dish, I believe, and it's great because like it's not very messy when you're holding it, because obviously you're holding the bread, and you can just. I think they give you like a little spoon or fork or something.
So as long as you don't eat the bread as you're eating...
Don't eat the bread first.
Yeah, don't eat the bottom of the bread first. You'll be fine.
But yeah, they do like I think just like a mild one and a spicy one, and the vegan one as well, which I've forgotten about.
Also, to go back on your point, Neil, about what, again, vegan options are there as well. The paella.
Oh, right.
If you don't get, they've got two different sort of like massive, almost frying pans worth of the stuff. If you want the non-meat option, it is totally and utterly vegan. It's no shellfish or sausage and chicken. It's just purely paella rice and some mixed veg. Which it sounds a bit naff, but I love it. It's brilliant.
The thing about that is, though, to make up for the lack of the other ingredients that you're avoiding, they have to put other stuff in it to make it a bit more chewy, I suppose, and interesting. Is that right?
I think it's butternut squash.
Butternut squash. Yeah, I like a bit of butternut squash. There's somewhere that sticks out in my mind is a great big Chinese takeaway stall where, so it's like a buffet. You basically go up to them and tell them what you want from the numerous dishes that you can see in front of you. So if you're partial to a Chinese takeaway, that's there. I think I've had the best kebab that I've ever had in my entire life, and also the most expensive kebab that I've ever had in my entire life at Download. It was just full. It was massive. It was so big. It was chickeny doner meat and lots and lots of what looked like cabbage. It was actually, but the sauce that you could put your own sauce in there. It was so tasty. I mean, I don't. If you've ever seen a picture of me, you'll obviously see that I like kebabs and that type of thing. So, yeah, I'm a kebab connoisseur, and I liked that very much. So if you see them, pay them a visit. But what else? What else is there? There's so much variety.
They've obviously, as you'd expect, there's a few. Are we specifically talking about food? Obviously, alcohol-wise, there's all sorts of bars, all around the festival. I think they've got speciality bars as well. There's an ale bar. There's whiskey. Yeah, a specific sort of ale bar on the pumps, as you would see in a pub. They've got they had one of those floating around the last couple of years.
Is that actually at the place where you just go into the bar, like, and get you order your drinks? Is it the same place?
No, Sam. It was a totally, from my memory. I think this was 2017. Now, mine was 2018. It was a completely different, like bar, stall, away from all the main bars that are dotted around in their usual places. Yeah, there's definitely. There definitely was one year. I think it was 2017. They had a separate ale bar. If that's not a thing anymore, because obviously the Danish Quarter, then so be it. But I'd love to see that return.
Do you like an ale, Dave?
Yes and no. I mean, I think at that time of year,
you're a cider man. Aren't you?
Yeah, I think I prefer a cider for a festival, but I'm not averse to an ale every now and again.
They don't like you, in the arena. They don't like you to bring in your own anything, really.
No. So I mean, you do get some cheeky beggars that do manage to sneak their own cans in. Not recommending it. No. It's pointless.
If you get caught with it, then
you get caught. You've either got to nail it or you've got to hand it over. I actually, admittedly, last year I had a couple of cans stashed in my bag. I thought, bottom of my bag, they're not going to get touched. It's fine. Person searching me found them and said, right, you've got two options. You're either going to give me them now or you've got to nail them. But you've got two, so you're going to try and nail two now? And I went, no. I finished what I had. I finished what I had in my hand, cracked open one of them, finished about probably 3/4 of that, chucked that in the bin. I said, there's one for end of your shift. And lo and behold, it went straight in their pocket.
Wow. In your face, whilst you stood there.
Yeah. To be honest, I mean, last year, though, as well, I had tons of beer left over. And even then, on my way out, going back to my car, I stopped by like a crowd of stewards and said, when do you lot get off? And they said, oh, probably got another couple of hours. Why? I said, right, here's some beer. Go nuts. Then, oh, nice one. But yeah.
Do you know what? That's worth talking about, actually, is not bringing too much of stuff with you, because it's a pain to carry. It's a pain to get rid of when you don't want it. So don't bring too much food. Don't bring too much booze, because it's a pain to get rid of.
Yeah, I mean, it's all well and good. Obviously, everyone wants to save some money for other things at the festival. So I understand when people bring a lot of stuff. But if you've got to say to yourself, "Am I bringing too much?" You more than likely are.
The thing about the cold cans is, when you get 24, is it 24 cans?
Yeah.
And you've got because everybody's got their own stuff that they've brought with them. And so most of those cans, you're going to nail yourself. And to make them last, for the week is quite difficult, because depending on how quick you drink, but you're going to be drinking, other people's stuff that they offer you. You're going to be trying to get through your own cold cans, which now aren't cold anymore because you've had them a few days, and you don't want them. So if I wish they had different sizes of, if they could sell me 12 cold cans, I think I'd be quite happy with that, actually.
Well, now you mention it, that's probably the good thing about the exports being in smaller cans.
Yeah.
Because you're still going to get a slab of 24 of them, but they're only 330ml cans. So it's like having like a can of Coke sized can of lager.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing, because then you drink them quite quickly.
Exactly.
As well as glass, obviously depending on your
glass.
Your part of the country. RIP, you're allowed to take glass in, but in camping, absolute no.
So don't forget, you can ask us questions or give us your viewpoint by sending us a message on social media. Tell us your do's and don'ts. Tell us about something we've missed, or just give us your opinion. In particular, I want to know, what's your favourite food stall? So just search for Festpod on the socials and let us know. Next up, we'll look back on some of our memories of Download in the Legend. In this section, we'll look back on some of our memories of downloads gone by. And it's quite hard to remember, actually, when you've drunk so much alcohol, because your memory tends to go a little bit then, doesn't it? But my memory, in particular, does have alcohol in it. I think we'd made our way back from the main arena. We're going back to the campsite. I think we had taken a route that we wouldn't normally take. And somebody spotted something in the woods at Donington, a little sort of clearing with a bar in it, a little hidden bar that we found on the way back from the arena. And we went in, and it was full of like little sort of art installations or something, weird stuff. Like
creepy shit.
Yeah, things hanging down from trees and...
I remember like dolls' heads and stuff like being all scattered around, and like broken in TVs. It was almost like being in a Corn video.
Yeah, we should have filmed something like that, shouldn't we? In that space.
Do you know what? I got a few pictures of it, and I went through my old stuff the other day actually. So obviously when we pre-planned this, I went through obviously all that stuff and I'd look at it. Again, the sort of set out under the trees and all that. That was really cool. Again, the bar, it wasn't busy because I'm not sure how many people knew about it, but it was really cool that, on our way back from the main arena, cut into the little wooded area and big old bar, and again, a lot of, like you say, artistic stuff dotted around. It's these sort of like little things that aren't really on show. You've got to go and look for them, that turn out to be one of the most sort of one big spectacle.
I'm not sure. Did we meet the person who had decked it out as well? Because I seem to recall some, because there was stuff that you could go up close to and sort of almost interact with. And I'm pretty sure I remember talking to a girl there who said that she'd done all of it, or she was responsible for putting it all together. But it was all lit in red, and it was all quite atmospheric, and there was music playing as well, and it was different to what you would expect from the rest of Download. Yeah,
and I mean that's one thing that I'd recommend people doing. If you are at a loose end sometimes, going for a walk and having a wander around and see if you can spot things that, again, not either they're off the beaten track. You'd be quite surprised at what you can find. I know the bigger festivals in the country, Glastonbury, have got those sort of things dotted everywhere because it's such a big festival. But this little thing at Download, it fitted in with sort of rock, metal, gothic sort of theme, and it was, to be able to sit down and look at it all with a can of lager was brilliant.
Do you remember that, Dave?
I do, yeah. It's I just thought it was very creepy.
Yeah, did we? I'm sure we only went once.
Yeah, I think it was on the way back from Guns N' Roses, where Dave was at Guns N' Roses, and you and I and we'd taken a wander back through to the village and just ended up seeing it. So,
Right.
let's not go back to the camp just yet. We've got loads of time before it gets dark. Let's go back in there.
Dave, what do you remember from Download?
In a word, Tool.
I didn't see Tool. Tell me about Tool.
I was speaking to my friend the other day who's a big fan of them, and he was going on for a few minutes about like he'd never seen them, but he was going on for a few minutes about like all his favorite albums and stuff, and I was dying to tell him that I'd seen them live, just to boast a little bit. But yeah, just a fantastic stage show. Like they were just spot on, really.
You have to be right down the front for Tool, don't you? Those sort of festival sort of shows they do.
Yeah.
They don't put anything on the screens because of like fear of his name's Maynard,
actually,
isn't it? Isn't he quite adamant on people not recording his show?
Yeah, but saying that, actually, I was in front of the sort of the barrier they have next to the tower, like sound tower thing. But I was just a little bit too close to kind of see the whole spectacle, because the backdrops they had on the screens took up the whole stage, like even the side.
Cool.
They have two big screens on each side for people at the back to still see like all the musicians and that. But I was obviously close enough to see the band, but I feel like even if you were a bit further back, you could take it all in and it would still be like epic.
See, this is the thing with that Sunday. I completely dropped the ball. My feet were killing me. I had to go early, and I missed Tool. No, exactly. I missed Tool, Enter Shikari, Fever 333, and tons of other bands because my little feet couldn't handle it. And if I had to give anyone a piece of advice, take a pair of decent walking shoes or boots or wellies. Don't just buy crap.
Lee, what is your memory of Download?
Well, you mentioned obviously at Download Mini Festival, you mentioned drinking quite a lot, and even on the first day, when you need to go and get your wristbands for your showers and the posh toilets and stuff like that, you got to get your wristband for your locker if you've bought one. And I had been drinking a lot on the Wednesday morning. I generally do anyway. Like it's just in the queue. There's couple cans in the queue while you're waiting. And then when you got to the campsite, you set everything up. Have a couple of cans while you're setting up.
The thing is that on the Tuesday night, you were drinking a lot, and then the Wednesday morning you were probably topping up, weren't you?
Yes. So Tuesday night, waking up for a hangover, and then carrying on drinking. So I think I've got a bit of an excuse for what my part of the legend is. So I went and got my wristband for my locker. So you get your keys and you get a lock for the locker. And I've gone in, put all my stuff in there, and all I did, I put the keys down inside the locker and just thought to myself, right, they're there, it's fine. But I had a bit of a brain fart, shut the door, and locked my keys inside the locker. I don't think I'm the only one that's ever happened to, but at this particular instance, I was. I then had to, with a big bright red face of embarrassment, walk up to the counter and say, "Look, I've locked my keys into my locker. Can you come and help me?" And out of nowhere, this lad's just brought this massive pair of fucking bolt cutters. And I said to him, "Does this happen often?" He said, "Well, you're the first today, but I assume it's going to happen quite a bit." I was like, "Right, okay." Yeah. He's then given me a new lock for the locker, new set of keys. He's walked in, snapped the locker off, got all the keys and stuff out. I said, "Well, what do I do with the keys and the lock for this locker, this padlock?" He goes, "You can keep it." I said, "Well, now I've got two sets." He shrugged his shoulders and walked away from me. So fair enough.
Wow.
But yeah, I had an absolute massive brain fart where just putting the keys into the locker and securing the locker with the padlock.
My keys will be nice and safe in there. I'll just lock them in.
Clearly, that was my intention. I just need to make sure the keys were safe. But don't we in RIP, speaking of lockers, we can take our own padlocks, can't we?
Yeah, if you've still got that lock and your key from the regular locker that you had then, that it's the same kind of lockers. Let's say they haven't changed them, that you'll find in RIP. So you can the same lock will fit around the RIP lockers. so you don't have to buy a new one.
Luckily, I mean, I've only been to the gym a couple of times this year, considering obviously lockdown, and that's the excuse I'm using. It's lockdown, not because I'm lazy, but the padlock that I got from the gym is combination lock. So even if I put a set of keys in the locker, I'll know the combination to unlock it.
And you haven't got to look after a key.
Exactly.
And you can't lock the key in the locker.
Yep.
Which is good.
It is.
So if you've made any awful errors like that, do let us know. Share them with us by going to our social media page. Just look for Festpod. You can tell us what download means to you. Give us your memories of going to download. Just look for us on the socials by searching for Festpod. So that's it for this time. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And cut.
A Wilco Productions podcast. To UT.